Welcome to this deep dive. If you're maybe in year 10 or grade 9, starting to think about what subjects to pick next, and, maybe you're a bit curious about how businesses actually work.
Then you're definitely in the right place.
Yeah. Today, we're kind of pulling back the curtain on a really key topic you'd explore in the IGCSE Business Edexcel course: marketing. Think of it as a sneak peek.
Exactly. And marketing, it's not just some side thing in business. It's absolutely fundamental. It really is the engine, helping companies understand customers, figure out what people really need or want.
And then connect with them.
Precisely. We're going to look at some key ideas, drawing directly from the kind of material you'd see in the IGCSE course itself. So you get a real feel for it.
And it's a dynamic field, right? We'll start with, what is marketing, really? Why is it so important? And how do businesses even start to understand all the different kinds of people out there?
And then we'll get into the famous 4 Ps.
Ah, yes, the 4 Ps. The marketer's toolkit. Honestly, you see marketing's effects everywhere, every day. The stuff you buy, the shops, the ads. It's all marketing.
It really is. It's all about understanding people and, satisfying needs profitably.
Yeah.
And it's always changing, especially now with technology.
Okay, so let's dive right in. First big question, what is marketing? Most people just think selling, right?
Yeah, that's a common thought.
But the course material, it makes it clear it's way more than that.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The sources describe it as involving a whole range of activities. Fundamentally, it's about figuring out what customers actually need and want.
Not just what the business thinks they want.
Exactly. And then using that understanding to, help design and develop products or services that people will genuinely buy. The goal is satisfying customer needs, yes, but
profitably.
Always profitably. That's key. It's a whole management process, identifying needs, anticipating them, and satisfying them.
So less shouting, buy this, and more listening first.
Precisely. Understanding comes first, which naturally leads us to a really crucial part of marketing: market research.
Okay, market research. Sounds a bit formal. What does that actually mean for a business day to day?
Think of it like detective work, really. The course defines it as gathering and then analyzing information. Information about the market, potential customers, how people buy things.
Okay, but why? Why go to all that trouble?
Well, the course highlights a few key reasons. It helps identify customer needs accurately, understand them deeply, spot gaps in the market, where a need isn't being met, and maybe the biggest one: reducing risk.
Reducing risk. That makes total sense. You don't want to spend a fortune making something nobody wants. Can you give an example, like a simple one?
Sure. The course mentions, say, a vacuum cleaner company. Before designing a new model, they won't just guess. They'll do research. Are people after power, or is it quietness? Does the look matter? The color? Or just durability? Bags or bagless? Lightweight? Heavy duty? Research helps them make informed choices about the actual product, the features, even the price, based on what real customers say they value.
Okay, yeah, much smarter than just building and hoping. So how do they actually, get this information?
Good question. The sources outline 2 main ways. There's primary research. That's collecting brand new information for this specific purpose.
Like surveys.
Exactly. Surveys, interviews, maybe focus groups where they chat with a small group of people. Then there's secondary research. This is using information that someone else has already gathered.
Like stuff that's already out there?
Yep. Governance statistics, industry reports, articles, maybe even the company's own sales data from the past. Both types are useful, just give different kinds of insights.
Right.
The course would go into much more detail on how you actually do each type.
Got it. So step 1, understand the customer, which leads to the next point. Why is all this marketing stuff so vital for a business? What happens if they, don't bother?
Well, if they don't understand their customers or the market, they're essentially flying blind. It's risky. The course materials really stress that good marketing helps businesses satisfy those customer needs we talked about.
Right.
But it also helps them build relationships. Happy customers often become loyal customers, and that repeat business is gold. Marketing also helps businesses react effectively to changes.
Changes like what?
Oh, a new competitor pops up, customer taste shift, new technology changes how people shop. Marketing helps businesses stay tuned in and adapt.
So it's not just finding customers, it's keeping them happy and, staying relevant.
Exactly, keeping them loyal and adapting to the world. The sources also bring in the idea of market share. Good marketing helps a business get or keep its slice of the pie, its proportion of total sales in that market.
Makes sense.
And you'll learn about 2 sort of philosophies a business can have. Being market-oriented, that means putting the customer right at the center of everything. Constant research, adapting.
Listening first, like you said.
Right. Or being product-oriented, where the main focus is just on the product itself. Maybe its features, how it's made.
Yeah.
Sometimes without checking enough if customers actually want that.
And which one's better?
Well, the course strongly suggests that being market-oriented, focusing on the customer, is generally the way to go, especially in competitive markets today.
Yeah, I guess building the most amazing thing in the world doesn't help if nobody buys it.
Precisely. You've got to start with the customer need.
Okay, now this next bit sounds really interesting. Market segmentation. The world's huge, billions of people. How can one business possibly sell to everyone?
That's the thing they usually don't even try. Market segmentation is how they deal with that complexity smartly. The course explains it as dividing the whole market into smaller groups or segments.
Okay.
And within each segment, the customers have similar needs or characteristics or ways they behave. Once you've identified these segments, you can then decide which specific group or groups you want to focus on. That becomes your target market.
Ah, so it's like finding your tribe, your specific audience. Like car companies don't just sell one car, right? They have different ones for different people.
Exactly. Perfect example. And the course outlines the common ways businesses do this segmenting. It could be by location. Selling different things or using different ads in hot versus cold climates, or maybe cities versus the countryside.
Right.
Very common is demographics.
Yeah.
That's segmenting based on measurable things, what people age, gender, income level, social class, family size, maybe ethnic background.
Like targeting different toys at different age kids, or maybe certain clothes at men versus women.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
The course material even mentions these social grade classifications used sometimes based on jobs and income. It shows how businesses might think about spending power. Think about Toyota again, like the source mentions.
Sure.
They don't just have one car. There's the little AYG Go, maybe for younger city drivers, perhaps on a tighter budget. Then the Prius Hybrid, appealing to people who are environmentally conscious. That's a lifestyle choice too. And the big Land Cruiser SUV, maybe for families, people with active hobbies, often higher incomes, different segments.
Right, so it's not just who they are demographically, but also how they live, like lifestyle.
Exactly, or sometimes called psychographics. This looks at interests, hobbies, values, personality. A travel company might target adventure seekers differently from those wanting luxury relaxation. Segmentation lets businesses tailor everything. The product, the price, where they sell it, how they promote it, specifically for that target group. It makes their marketing way more effective.
That makes so much sense. Trying to be everything to everyone probably means you end up being nothing special to anyone.
Or at least you're not being as efficient or successful as you could be.
All right, so we've got how businesses understand the market, figure out who they're talking to. Now, the big one. How do they actually do the marketing? Put the plan into action, get the product to the people. This is where the famous 4 Ps come in, right? The marketing mix.
That's the one. The marketing mix is essentially the set of tools a business blends together to hit its marketing goals for its specific target market. The classic way to think about it is these 4 elements, all starting with P-product, price, place, and promotion. Getting the mix right is crucial.
Like a recipe, you need the right ingredients in the right amounts for the dish you're making. Okay, let's start with the first P product. Seems simple enough, it's the thing they sell.
It is the actual goods or service, yes. But the product P involves more. Decisions about its design, the quality, its specific features, the brand name it carries, even the packaging it comes in. And products don't just stay the same forever, usually. The course introduces something called the product life cycle.
Oh, like products are born, live, and then die.
Sort of. Yeah, the product life cycle describes the typical stages. The source outlines them as development. That's when it's being created, researched. Then introduction launched onto the market. Sales are usually slow. Costs are high. Okay. Then growth, if it catches on. Sales climb quickly. Profits hopefully start appearing. Maturity, sales growth slows down. The market might be getting full. Lots of competitors. Then saturation, the market's really full. Sales peak, maybe even dip a bit. And finally, decline, sales fall off. Maybe new tech makes it obsolete or tastes change, and the product might get withdrawn.
Wow, that's a really useful way to think about it. Got an example?
Yeah, the source has good ones. Think about fads like, remember fidget spinners or those loom bands? Very fast growth, probably hit maturity or saturation really quickly, then a sharp decline in that massive initial popularity.
Yeah, they disappeared fast.
Compare that to, say, cornflakes, or maybe Coca-Cola. Products that have been in that maturity or saturation stage for decades, constantly managed, maybe tweaked a bit, but not in rapid growth or decline.
That really shows the difference. And you mentioned packaging. That's part of products.
Absolutely. Packaging isn't just a box. It protects the product, sure, makes it easy to handle, but it's also a huge marketing tool. It needs to look good on the shelf, carry important info, and reinforce the brand image. Think about how different cereal boxes look. That's all part of the product P, trying to grab your attention.
Okay, P number 2, price. This feels super important for the business and for us as customers. How do they decide the price?
It's absolutely critical. Price is what customers pay, and getting it right affects sales and profit massively. The course material points to key things businesses consider. Their own costs, obviously making it, marketing it, overheads, they need to cover those.
Naturally.
They look hard at what competitors are charging for similar things. They think about their own business objectives. Are they aiming for high profit on each one or trying to sell loads at a lower margin? And crucially, what are customers actually willing to pay? Price it too high? No one buys. Too low? You might lose money or people might think it's cheap and nasty.
So it's a real balancing act then.
Definitely. And the course touches on different pricing strategies too, like penetration pricing. That's setting a low price when launching something new, trying to grab customers quickly and get market share.
Like an introductory offer?
Kind of, yeah. Or the opposite could be price skimming, setting a high price initially, maybe for some cool new tech product, to get maximum profit from people who really want it, first the early adopters, then maybe drop the price later when competitors arrive or costs fall. The strategy depends on the product, the market, the goals.
Interesting. The price itself is a tool.
Okay, third P, place. This isn't the business's address, right? It's about getting the product to the customer.
Exactly. Place, or often called distribution, is all about how the product gets from the maker to the buyer. It involves choosing the right distribution channels. Does the business sell straight to you, the customer? Maybe online.
Or through shops.
Right. Or does it go through intermediaries, like wholesalers who buy big amounts and sell to retailers? Or the retailers themselves, the shops we actually buy from. So supermarkets, department stores, corner shops.
All of those.
Yeah.
The course mentions different types of places. Physical stores like those, yes. Supermarkets, department stores, smaller independents, market stalls even. And, of course, hugely important now, online. E-tailing, or e-commerce. The key is choosing places that are convenient and make sense for the target customer. You wouldn't sell, I don't know, luxury watches only from a market stall, would you?
Probably not. So it's about being where your customers expect you to be and where it's easy for them to buy.
That's the essence of it, getting it there efficiently and conveniently.
Okay, final P, promotion. This feels like the bit most people think of first when they hear marketing, the ads and stuff.
It often is the most visible part. Promotion covers all the ways businesses communicate with their target customers. And the goals are pretty clear. Make people aware the product exists, persuade them it's something they need or want, and maybe remind them about it later to encourage them to buy again.
How do they do that?
Well, the sources cover the main methods. Advertising is the obvious one. TV, radio, internet ads, billboards, magazines. Then there are sales promotions. These are usually aimed at a short-term boost. Things like special offers, discounts, buy one, get one free, coupons, loyalty schemes.
Right, yeah, loyalty cards, buy 9 coffees, get the 10th free. That's promotion.
Definitely works. Promotion also includes public relations or PR. That's more about managing the company's overall image and reputation. Maybe through press releases, events, sponsoring things.
Building goodwill.
Sort of, yeah. And obviously technology is massive. Social media campaigns, influencer marketing, email newsletters. The course also mentions branding as part of this, creating that unique name, logo, design, that whole identity for the product. Strong branding is powerful promotion in itself. It helps you recognize it, remember it, maybe even feel something positive towards it. All these methods aim to grab attention and encourage buying.
Wow, okay. That's a lot in the marketing mix. So we've covered the basics of marketing, market research, why it's important, segmenting the market, and then the 4 Ps, product, price, place, promotion.
And those concepts, they really are fundamental. Understanding how businesses use them to connect with customers, that's key to understanding how businesses operate successfully today. It needs analysis, understanding the data, but also creativity in putting that mix together.
So let's bring it back to you listening. Maybe you're weighing up your subject choices. Why should you care about all this marketing stuff?
Well, because understanding it gives you this incredible insight into the world around you.
Yeah.
Seriously, every day, you start to see why some products fly off the shelves and others don't. why things cost what they do, why certain shops are where they are, why you see the ads you see.
It's like getting behind-the-scenes access.
It is. It helps you understand how consumers think, how businesses compete, the whole journey a product takes. These are fascinating skills, really valuable not just in business, but just for understanding modern life. And the IGCSE business course gives you a really solid framework to explore all this.
Absolutely. We've really just scratched the surface of marketing here, just one part of the IGCSE business course. But it shows you how it helps understand the economy, how companies work, and gives you insights you can actually use.
Yeah, mastering these ideas, understanding customers, using the 4Ps effectively, it's a constant challenge for businesses, but it's where success comes from.
So if any of this sounded interesting, if you're curious about how businesses tick, why things are the way they are in the shops or online, and maybe you want skills that are useful in tons of careers, or even if you dream of starting your own thing one day,
Then the IGCSE Business Ed Excel course could be a really great fit.
it genuinely could. Marketing's just one really cool part of it.
It provides a fantastic, broad introduction to the whole business world.
Okay, here's a little challenge for you. Next time you're out, or even just browsing online, pick a product. Could be anything, a chocolate bar, a drink, an app on your phone. Try and think about its marketing using those 4Ps. What is the product, really? Features, packaging, what about the price? Why do you think it costs that much? Where is the place you can get it? And what promotion have you seen for it?
Applying that framework, you start to see the strategy behind everyday things. It's quite eye-opening.
It really does change how you see the world. We definitely encourage you. Take a look at the IGCSE Business Eat Excel syllabus. You can usually find it easily online. See the full range of topics. If this peek into marketing caught your interest, there's so much more to discover in the course.
It's a really valuable subject for understanding the world you'll be working and living in.
Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive into IGCSE business marketing.